Good morning, 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 good morning to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. Going live now, going live now. We have a little business to talk. Some business you must talk. So, as usual, since I am at the Rose Garden, while I invite some people, I am going to walk about the Rose Garden and give you an opportunity to see the beautiful roses. Yes! So while I show you these beautiful roses, that means I am inviting some people to come and watch this video. People, we have some important business to talk, right? And old people say, sense make before book, but common sense is certainly not common, right? Common sense is certainly not common. Now, I see a picture. I'm just talking randomly. I'm going to get into these things in a while. I saw a picture on that was posted by Cook of 24/7 news service, of some people painting pictures on the wall of a school in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Further inquiry led me to understand that the school that is being disfigured with the permission of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Preparatory School in Kingstown. Apparently the number one and the largest gathering of primary school children in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? So it makes you have to ask yourself, what are these people thinking? What is the Prime Minister thinking? What is the Minister of Education thinking when they allow people to put control graffiti on the walls of the primary school in the middle of the city in Kingstown, right? The message that they're trying to send with this graffiti is deplorable, and no one in their right senses, no one in their minds, their right minds, will ever or should ever send such a message, especially to people in the primary stages of their life. Because when you inculcate messages in primary school children, those messages go with them for the rest of their lives, right? And we're going to get into this. And another thing that I wanted to address, I was going to address before I see this, but I think this will take precedent, is that the opposition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines needs to get and become more assertive, as Leacock said, right? I'm going to speak about Dr. Friday's action in the House of Parliament last week. And we are going to see if Dr. Friday, I'm going to tell you my opinion about Dr. Friday's action in the House last week, right? It was needed, it was necessary, but was it done for the right purpose, right? Was it done for the right purpose? We will get into that. Now, if you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes, right, I want you to share this video, because we have important things we need to talk about. I was blocking the camera and I did not even realize that. We have important things that we need to discuss. So if you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes, please share this video, right? When you share it, Diane Simmons, is that Yvonne Simmons' baby sister? Let me know. When you share it, let me know that you have shared, and let me know where you're watching from. Right? I see my cousin Ricardo Watson is there watching. Holy love, my sweetheart. You are here. Lillian says, yes, we have St. Vincent business to talk today. Lillian, right? You're talking about business. Who hot? If I hurt your foot, go to the doctor and put a plaster on it. Right? Holy love had shared. Lillian, my sweetheart sister, have shared. An upright woman. You know what? I think I have a lot of upright women who follows me and who get involved with my videos. First thing, we have holy love. We have a woman like Lillian says, right? This is a woman. We have Natasha Brown. I see she yet. This is a woman who are steep in the word of the Most High, who is always studying the word of the Most High. We have my cousin, Ricardo Watson, a man who likes the Most High, who is always in the word of the Most High. You understand? So if you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes, please share this video. Please share this video. Right? Share this video. Now you can see me. Okay, the thing is in the way. Yes, people, if you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes, please share this video. And let us talk the business of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as Lillian says. Watson, Ricardo Watson have shared. Owen Richardson's, God bless, he's watching from the Dutch St. Martins. Owen, nice to have you. Owen, does that mean you now speak Dutch? Or they speak English here too? Natasha D. Brown is watching. I just mentioned your name and speak about you and some others. If you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes, people, please share this video. Please share this video. Let us talk the business of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Right? I saw something on... Hi Natasha, nice to have you. As I said earlier, I was just speaking about you and holy love, and Lillian says about women who have fell in love with the Most High. You share. Nice. Oh, you know what? Facebook put something here. When you share the video, every comment you make, the word share will come up above it so that I can see. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, Owen, when do you speak mainly English? Nice, nice. But have you learned any Dutch as yet? That's a good question. Now, people, I came here to talk about the opposition. But before I go into speak about the opposition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I saw something, a picture that was posted on the internet news site. I saw something that was posted on 784 News, where they have some people. Some people are on the premises of the Kingstown Preparatory School, and they are painting a mural on the school wall. Diana Simmons has shared. Diane Simmons has shared. Yes, I'm going to deal with that too. Miss Little says they need to give people food because people crying. Yes, we're going to deal with all that today. All I came to deal with one thing, we're going to deal with all that. Now, this is what is happening. We see there are some artists painting a mural on the school wall of the Kingstown Preparatory School, right? They call it mural, but I called it graffiti, controlled, permission granted graffiti. Graffiti is when an artist go and put colors and paint on people's private property without permission, right? Very often, the places where you find graffiti are crime-ridden, drug-infested areas, right? And very often, the places where you find these murals are in poor, undeveloped communities, right? Poor, undeveloped community where you have an abandoned building, and instead of having this building walls unpainted looks, you give an artist permission to join it, to lift the spirit of the area, right? This is normally where you find these murals. So, it is not really an appropriate thing to put these things on schools, because it does not reflect. It does not reflect when you enter a school, you see this, an environment for which you are going to learn. You see, learning is a process, and in the learning process, when the child hits the premises, right, he is preparing himself to sit down in a classroom for an extended period of time. So you need to prepare the young minds for this, right? And these murals doesn't prepare the mind for prolonged seating and learning and the observation of knowledge and information, right? I'm telling you this. It is nothing more than shit stain. Shit stain. When he was in California, he would have drove across the LA Technical Trade College, and he would have saw some mural on the back of the trade college, right? But those mural have a purpose. They are not just random drawing. Those mural have a purpose. Those murals serve two purposes. Let me tell you what those murals serve. First thing, it's an invitation for students who have an inclination for the arts to inquire about the art program that the school is offering, right? So it's an invitation for the public to know that the school is offering an art program. And if you are interested in doing art, you can come to this school and pursue a degree in art. It is right at the back of the train station. What they don't realize also, right, that these murals were not done by individuals. They were done by groups of students. So and they're not very big mural. They are about 10 murals, and they range in from about 4 feet to 6 feet, right? 4 by 6 murals. But these were group drawings. These were group work. And guess what? Those murals have been there even before I came to California. And if you notice, you'll notice something about these murals. The paint never fades. Why the paint never fades? Because anytime the paint fades, the school contacts the artists, the group of artists who are paid to come in to give back life to the artwork. So they have a budget that is set aside, especially for this. When you put this big nasty joint on the Kingstown Prep School, do you have a budget for the upkeep? No, because you don't think that far. Paint always fade. Especially paint that is exposed to the element will fade. You don't have a budget to continue the upkeep of the mural, but you put a mural. You don't have a budget to take care of the people in the shelter, right? You don't have a budget to pay teachers. It would have been cheaper if you have those guys paint the walls of the school in one color. We paint it in the same color, touch it up, right? So when you're traveling and you go to places, you see these things happening. You don't understand what is happening. It look good. Yes, it look good. But there is a method to the madness. These people has a budget that is set aside. To deal. Every year they allocate money to deal with the upkeep of the school premises, which includes the upkeep of the mural. The artists who are involved in these murals get paid to come back to the school to ensure that the work is always at a quality that will represent the school. You understand? It's not just random thing like this. If the paint on the mural chip at any point in time, the artists are called in to repair the chip paint. So when Ralph Gonsalves come to California and see these things, you think it's just random? No. These murals were there before I came to California, and I'm in California for almost 7 years now. But yet, the paint never faded because you could always see them there. You always see the artists come back and are there touching up the murals because it is signed artwork. Does the Ministry of Education has a budget for the upkeep of this mural that they put on the wall? It is graffiti. It should not be placed on the school wall. You have 900 students going to the Kingstown Preparatory School, the biggest school for primary education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this is the message you are giving. People, you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear the objective of this mural. You don't want to hear why they're painting this mural, because you will shit your skin when you hear why they commissioned this mural. You are going to shit your skin because you won't believe it. They have painted this mural, right? They have painted this mural in support of dialect. In support of dialect. I have to go back to my notes. Because I promised to say, let me say happy birthday to Evelyn Lawrence, who's celebrating her birthday today. One of the people who listen to my video, who follow me daily. Evelyn Lawrence, happy birthday to you. People tell Evelyn Lawrence happy birthday. Nice. So now, here we see the biggest primary school in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, shit stain, has decided to disfigure the walls. I don't know what, let me tell you what they're trying to accomplish. They want the children to embrace dialect. Could you believe this? Could you believe this? Listen to me. Teachers spend years upon years trying to teach these children standard English so that they can speak and write standard English. But the Ministry of Education The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is trying to get our children to embrace dialect. Let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something, right? If you would have noticed my videos, my speech have changed somewhat. Because let me tell you, I was not the brightest child in school. The simple English concepts, I didn't understand them. Yet I was able to pass English language at GCE. But the simple English rules, I could not understand them. I will hear them, I couldn't apply them. It's not until lately that it started clicking, and I was able to apply the basic English rules that enhance writing and speaking. And after I get an understanding of them, I start practicing. So that is why you would hear me using my TH. You'll hear me using my past and so forth, my past tense and present tense, because I have now grasped an understanding that I didn't have of it before. You understand? That is why you would have heard my speech would have changed somewhat, and it have moved from a mainly dialect to a kind of a semi-standard English. People, when you learn something new, you have an obligation to yourself, you have an obligation to your mind to embrace it and to practice it. Dialect is a speech that is used by people who don't have a basic understanding of the language for which they are speaking. The St. Lucians speak broken French, not because they want to speak patois, but because they don't have an understanding of standard French. The Dominican and the Haitian also. Right? It is because our forefathers were brought from a place that spoke one language, and we were dumped into a place that speaks another language. So we, on the job of slavery, we were forced to learn a new language to ensure that you weren't whipped. But when we came here as slaves, we spoke our native tongue in the proper manner in which it was spoken. Our dialect is only because we was not given a formal education in the language of the slave masters. That is why Vincentian speaks the way that we speak. But when you are given the information and the tools, you have an obligation to yourself, you have an obligation to your country, you have an obligation to your mind, and you have an obligation to your children to use those tools that is given to you, so you can develop yourself, you can develop your mind. And when you go overseas, when you are put in an international situation, you are able to communicate with the people you need to communicate with on a level that they are communicating with. You understand? You listen to Ralph Gonsalves speak. Ralph Gonsalves only know about trying to pronounce words in a particular way. But his grammar is poor. His diction is poor. He tried to nice it up. But his grammar is poor, his diction is poor. You go into the newspaper and look for Ralph Gonsalves' articles from back then. You will see how poorly Ralph Gonsalves writes. Even when I did not understand the basic rules that improve writing and speech, right? When I read Ralph Gonsalves' articles, I was shocked. at the level of his ability to communicate with writing. The man is a dunce. He try to pronounce words differently, not correctly. When he writes, his grammar is so poor. People, if you don't believe me, go and check. I think there's one on the line on the internet where he speak about, I can't remember what he speak about. It was the poorest written thing I have ever seen. And piano people, when I read this, I did not have a full understanding of the rules of the English language that enhance writing and enhance speech, right? So this is quite a while. And if you hear the man speak today, all he try to pronounce words differently, not necessarily correctly, but different from how you accustomed hearing it. And when he does that, he think he's speaking. You understand? Let me tell you something. You cannot encourage our primary students to embrace dialect when the Ministry of Education through its English program is trying hard to teach these same students standard English so that they can communicate properly, so that they can write properly, right? So how can you now be sending a message that is contradictory to that which is the policy, the principle, and the practice of the Ministry of Education? How can this, what are they thinking? Who is leading this country? Do we have a pig leading this country or something? Shitstein really don't know what he's doing. How can you do such a thing? People, share this video. Share this video. And if you don't agree with me, let me know you don't agree with me. Should the government allow a mural, especially a mural that try to encourage the children to embrace dialect upon a school wall, when the Ministry of Education is spending millions of dollars every year to try to teach our children, our primary, our secondary, and our tertiary children how to write and speak the English language properly? Isn't this a contradiction? Isn't this a contradiction? I don't understand this. Look at what, when was the last time you go to Victoria Park? You remember some years ago, during the carnival season, they allow artists to go to Victoria Park and draw on those walls. When was the last time you see someone pass there and took a picture and post it on Facebook and social media of some beautiful artwork that was there? It is because there was no budget for the upkeep of those art, and those art is probably either so deplorable or they were painted over. You understand? They have faded. I remember before I lived St. Vincent and the Grenadines, one time the Victoria Park area looked like a slum, because when you go there you see all of these faded graffiti on the wall, because that is what it reminded me of. Graffiti on the wall. It make the place look droopy and slummish. So this is the first issue we're going to deal with today, right? So let me go and see what my people have to say. Okay, while I read these comments, let me see if I could give you back another view of the roses. All right, let me read the comments. Let me go down. Deborah Bam, nice to have you. Makata Young, nice to have you. Owen Richards, nice to have you. Ricardo Watson. They're demonizing the school. Of course, that is what they're doing. Because who knows what secret messages these artists, these crop artists are going to put in their drawing. Let me tell you something, right? I don't know if you all saw it. Sometime the other day, a little girl from Beckway says she is a slater. Share a drawing on social media. I think the drawing was entitled "I Will Rise with a Phoenix" and so forth and so forth, and the souffle and the explosion, and in the background you see flowers blooming and so forth. Beautiful drawing. But when you look in the drawing, there's a picture of the Baphomet in the background. So when I download the drawing and I enhance it, and I realize it is a picture of the Baphomet, the devil that these people in California worship, the Freemason and the Illuminati, and these people they worship in the background. You understand? So she was presenting this beautiful artwork, but it was a tribute to Lucifer. And we have to be careful. Dorcas Joseph is saying, inappropriate. I don't know why they think this is a good idea on a school. Dorcas Joseph, I don't know either. I am still wondering what is the benefit this will be to the students. I am wondering the same thing, Dorcas. Dorcas, forgive me for asking. Me and you have been friends for quite a while. You have been a teacher for many years. You have been a professional in the field of teaching. I'm going to still read the comments. Dorcas, I think you teach at a prep school. Do you think this was... What part did the principal of the prep school had to play in the decision making of this, of putting this art on the wall? Do you know? Perry Ashley is watching. Gwyneth Fiona. Faye Goodings. Oh, Owen Richard talking Dutch. Wait, Ricardo, what's this in a painting? Organized by the demonic ULP. Carries a meaning. Of course it carries a meaning. If you're looking at painting good, I sure you're going to see either the Baphomet or the hand gestures of the Illuminati. Ricardo Watson again. This is a move to keep our children more dumb. We're not trying desperately to teach them the language of our ancestors more forcibly. And that is a good thing. That's a good thing. Instead of they are now implementing the Garifuna language or the Kalinago language in the school system for the primary school, so that by the time they reach secondary school, they are masters at the Kalinago and the Garifuna languages, which is the same language. No, they are telling them to embrace speaking the language that their parents has been speaking for almost 150 years. Bad is okay. What kind of shit stain we have run in our country? Mr. Harry is here watching. Jason Pierre is watching. Dorcas Joseph. And yet, and the thing is that it is on the front of the school building, so that is the first thing the students are greeted by. That is the first thing the parents are greeted by when they enter. Yes, I am referring to Cheyenne Slater Faye Goodings. She is my cousin. Okay, No, it is embedded. I hope it's not she put it there. I didn't, because when I saw her, I thought she was a foreigner, right? Yeah, Cheyenne Slater. Because I've never seen her before. I've never seen her before, and I have never heard Slater associated with Beckwith. So I thought she was a foreigner. But now that you say she's your cousin, I realize that she is really Vincentian. But you can go on my page and you will see the drawing with the Baphomet. I did 4 pictures of it. Yeah, look at it again. Or go on my page. As a matter of fact, when I get off of this live, I will tag you in the thing that I did. Right? Yeah, the Baphomet is really in the drawing. And that is not a good sign. You understand? Now, let us move on. We have a pandemic in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? We have a pandemic in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a volcanic eruption. Almost 20 or 25,000 people have been displaced. Sympathical Charles is saying Ralph is an uneducated dunce. You need to see the nonsense. Look at my page, Watson. I posted on my page. Right? We have a pandemic in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Monies and food stuff had been coming into St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There was a boat that came from St. Lucia that brought a quantity of matches to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There are people who are displaced, who are living in private homes. And you know, our homes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are just fit for the amount of people that is living there. So when they take in people, that means the resources of the home, the physical resources of the home, is now being stretched because they won't have enough bedrooms and enough beds, so people sleep in the living room, they sleep on the kitchen, in the kitchen floor, they sleep on the dining room floor, they sleep anyway, because it is better for them to be on the floor of the house of a relative and take the shit of a cousin or an auntie than to go in a shelter and take the shit from some strangers who are trying to benefit from your unfortunate situation. People are going to Nemo for help. There's one lady who wanted a mattress so that her grandchildren can sleep on her, 2 mattresses, right? So that her grandchildren could sleep comfortable even in the private home that they're staying in. They're pushing the wrong woman all around. The lady have to depend on her relative for everything. But guess what? There are aid that came in to take care of people like these. People who are displaced but are staying with relatives. You have to remember that if 20,000 people are displaced and you have the shelters with about 10,000 people, you have to remember that those other 10,000 people is either staying with relatives or trying to make it on their own. So therefore, Nemo has an obligation to those people also, not for the people who are in the government shelters only. So when you have to come up with a system, I know you all ain't smart enough to think about these things. Oh, you saw the picture there, Brian. Yes, it's the Baphomet. Yes, you have to find a way to come up with, because you need to service the people. We need to have all of these cries stop, because all it takes is a little care, a little concern, and a little legwork. That is why I encourage the people to utilize the cadet force, to utilize the guides and the girls brigade. Put a system in place where they can find out who have needs and where these needs are, and give those organizations the resources to satisfy the needs of these people who are really in need. You understand? But instead, what they're doing, they're taking monies that were donated by the citizenry of England and play politics with it, saying love boxes. People donated their hard own money to help the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, yet they bring 300 boxes. They spend $12,000 out of almost $800,000 that was donated by the people, the regular citizens of England. And up to now, we can't get account for the other $700,000+ that was donated to the United Kingdom SVG Friendship Trust in England. Right? Natasha is saying that they're keeping the mattresses. They're saving the mattresses for the next general election so they can give out and buy votes. Or it's either that, Natasha, or they are putting them up for Storm Gonsalves resort, Storm Gonsalves real estate project. It's either that or one or the other. So the question we have to ask is, where are the remainder of the monies? Over $700,000 that was collected, not on behalf of the government, but on behalf of the distressed people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ease their distress. Was this friendship trust set up to finance Storm Gonsalves' project in Beckwith? Was the main cause? Was this the main purpose of the United Kingdom SVG Friendship Trust, to finance Storm Gonsalves' real estate project in Beckwith? And because of the eruption, attention was brought to it. So what did they spend? $12,000 and they get stormed the rest money? We need accountability for the monies that were donated by Vincentians in England and the Friends of Vincentians to the GoFundMe program that was established by the United Kingdom SVG Friendship Trust. This Friendship Trust was chaired by the Consular General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the United Nations, which should never happen. But yet we have people going about in Kingstown crying because they have children to feed, and there is no sight of help for them to feed their children. People who have been displaced. There are people who have been displaced who are still sleeping on the cold ground a month and a half after the first eruption, the first explosive eruption. And there is no, do we see the pictures with hundreds of matches packed up in the name of storeroom, but yet these people are not given an opportunity to get a mattress? What are they waiting for with these mattresses? Are they waiting for the next election to use them as political bribe? Or are they waiting to be used in Storm Gonsalves' housing project in Beckwith? Luxury housing project in Beckwith. Well, let me tell you something. These are cheap mattresses. You can't put these cheap mattresses in luxury houses. You will just not do. Right, people? People are crying. The duncy-head girl who is the director of Nemo, and the other backward people in Nemo need to think. And if they don't have the ability to think, there are many people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who are capable of coming up with plans. Solicit their help. Don't do like shit stain. You understand? Don't do like shit stain. Ask for help when you are incapable of getting the job done. It will help you grow, and you will learn in the process. Oh, people, I almost forget. I wanted to sing that song. I wanted to sing this shit of water, this shit stain song for you. But before we are going to do it at the end. Shit stain say, Arnhim is a dirty dog. Shit stain say, this is what he says. Arnhim is too goddamn black. Bush will not see him. Calling people dirty name is his claim to fame. Matthew is a dirty dog. Major is a thief. He is a convicted. He is a sex offender. But he always calling beef. Shit stain. Shit stain. Shit stain. I calling the PM out of his name. Shit stain. Shit stain. When he touch you, you have to wash by rain. I have to get it in. I just write it, so I have to get it in good. But I'll be singing it every day until I get it right. I'll put the words there so you can learn it and you can sing it with me. Right? Now, the opposition need to be more assertive. Leacock says this 2 weeks ago. Leacock, who have been following the lead of Dr. Friday, said 2 weeks ago, the opposition need to be more assertive. That means Leacock realized that Dr. Friday approach to opposition government is not working. And he needs to step up. So the question I have to ask, did Friday step up in parliament and was forced out of parliament because it was the right thing to do and he did it? Or because he think that Leacock statement means that Leacock was coming for the leadership of the party and he had to do something drastic to ensure that he will maintain the confidence of the membership of the NDP. Remember, if you do the right thing for the wrong purpose, it's wrong. Because Dr. Friday is not an open guy. He's not a stand-up guy. He's not a guy that will defy authority. He's a guy who has been going around with Ralph Gonsalves with everything that he did. From the taking away of Shakaland by unlawful means, the taking away of Dr. Murray's in-laws' land to eminent domain in a situation where eminent domain does not apply. The refusal to pay Marcus de Freitas, everything that Ralph Gonsalves did, Dr. Friday was quiet upon it. He only speak about the Ashel Morgan situation is because the cry was too loud. The people came out and was protesting. So he would have looked like a jackass if after Major Leacock says the opposition need to be more assertive, and after all those protesters came out and stood on the streets and were protesting, if he went into parliament and it was business as usual. So did Dr. Friday stood up and did what he do because it was the right thing to do? Or did he do it because the dynamics that existed around the situation push him into doing it. Remember, people, Michelle won't come live. I'm going to approve you, Michelle. Michelle Ralph Gonzalez, people in California don't want me to have anybody live. So, I'm going to approve you, but you're not going to come live because they're going to prevent it from coming live. I approve you. Bring Michelle Scrub camera. Dear friends, bring Michelle Scrub and camera. Their friends won't be able to watch this live unless they are in your selected audience. Okay. Michelle, your friends will not be able to watch this live. I don't know why, because I am Michelle, I already accepted your request and I didn't see anything happening, so I don't know what is happening here. Shit-stained people in California don't want me to have guests on my program because they feel Levron Lewis want to come live too. Levron, I'm saying the same thing to you. I approve you. Bring Levron Lewis on camera. Their friends won't be able to watch this live video unless they are in your selected audience. Doesn't matter, I'm going to bring you again, Levron. Second person tried to come and they won't come. So you see, shit-stain is preventing the people. Shit-stain, skid marks in California is preventing the people from coming live to share their opinion on my program. Because they feel that it will give me credibility. I have enough credibility. So I don't understand what shit-stain and them and his skid marks in California trying. So yes, people are saying the Dr. Friday acted based on his conscience and in the interest of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or was his actions forced because of the dynamics that surrounded the meeting at Parliament, where the outcry of Vincentians was so loud, and people, common citizens, came and protest because they didn't want Ashel Morgan to be a part of the sitting of the House. And coupled with the fact, Major Leacock said earlier that the opposition needs to be more assertive. Was that the reason why Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday stood up and defied the Speaker? I am not saying his action was wrong. I am saying that Godwin Friday does not have a history of standing up for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even in Parliament, unless he is talking in the capacity of leader of the opposition or the representative of the Southern Grenadines. Leacock is more of a man who will defy the authority, who will scream across the aisle, who will call someone a name that suits their behavior at the time. That is why the Speaker find it so easy to shut down Dr. Friday, because as far as the Speaker is concerned, he was acting out of his normal character. His action was not natural. Shit-stain and his corrupt government is always undermining the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yes! Right? You know their foreign policy is? Their foreign policy is to find those people who don't support them and try to make them lose their job. But yet, they have a government that is being run by increments. Increments by the people in the diaspora. But they want to find all the people who don't support them, make them lose their jobs, put them out of a bread, because he ain't supporting shit-stain. Huh? Because when you have a skid mark in your underwear, you're going to wash it. Shit stain. Anytime he touch you, you must be washed by rain. Ricardo Ross and Dr. Friday did what he had to do. Leacock just endorsed Leacock must endorse his action. I'm not saying Dr. Friday action was wrong. I'm just questioning his motive for doing what he did. Because as far as I am concerned, if you do the right thing for the wrong motives, it doesn't worth the paper, it doesn't worth a penny cut in two. I'm just questioning Dr. Friday's motives. I did not object to what he did. He did what was right. He took the right stance. But what was his motive? Is he afraid that Leacock is coming for his post as leader of the opposition? I don't know. Could be that. People, I have some things to do. I thank you all for joining me today. Those who have shared this video, I thank you for sharing the video. Those who have commented, Natasha Brown, Faye, Fiona, Gwyneth Fiona, Levon Lewis and all these people. The truth always hurts and destroys. You talk right, my brother, Mr. Lewis. Right? Everybody who are here today, I thank you for coming. I thank you for sharing. I didn't really have much, but I wanted to share my opinion about the opposition and just the lack of assertions that they have in the way they conduct the people's business. And this morning when I saw this thing with the prep school, what's in you defend what? I can't see it. I guess we'll have to discuss this on a live, but Shitston will not allow me to bring you live. His people, remember, California is the mecca of internet technology. So you have all of these technical people here. All I could do is do the basic thing on a computer and on an iPhone. They have people that's come around here with iPhone and they turn off my music without my permission. They prevent the music from going through the headphone when they feel like. That's what they do me. Sometimes I am watching a video and they just turn off the video, and when I go look for it, I can't find the video. Even if I put in the name, I can't find it. That is how Shitstain is using the resources of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to oppress a Vincentian in the diaspora. You know how much thing they do me here? People, when they see me do these videos, there's always a repercussion, but I am afraid of them. When I do my religious videos, there are always repercussions, but I am afraid of them. I don't come and tell you what happened because it's not your business. I don't want to frighten you. I want you to be strong and courageous because I could handle these people here. They can't touch I. You understand? But anytime I do a religious video and I talk about these white people, there's all this repercussion. I'm telling you people, all this repercussion. You understand? But I don't talk about it. You understand? When I speak bad about 12 gun salves, they find something to do. All this repercussion, damage some property of mine, steal something from me just to spite me. I tell you people, there's all these repercussions. People just come and threaten me, but I don't speak about it. You understand? Because I'm not afraid of them. Let me tell you something. When they send the gangsters to me, I fight the gangsters in the street, I beat the gangsters. The last time they sent 2 women at me, I was going from Los Angeles to San Francisco on the Greyhound. They sent 2 women at me, right? I did everything in my power for about 10 minutes to get rid of these ladies, not to hit them, not to do anything. And I realized that they were intoxicated, they put them high on drugs. So if I punch them up, I may end up breaking a bone and be going up with serious charge. I say, you know what? If I go into prison, if I'm going to be arrested, I'm going to be arrested for something good. I had a knife in my bag. I take up my knife and I ram them up. I stab them up. I give each of them no less than 5 stabs each. I tried to take out one of those eyes. The girl hold on to me so, and she would not let me go because she was afraid. Right? I stabbed them up. A couple of weeks after, they sent 2 guys at me on the train. And when I was fighting with the 2 guys, I remember saying, oh, if I could use my knife on those 2 ladies, well, for the 2 girls, I spent 2 nights in the cell. In California, in Los Angeles, California. And the director of public prosecution rejected the case because a guy who was there came to witness for me. He said, no, officer, those guys were fucking around with that boy, with that guy all the time. He tried to avoid them and they were still fucking around. That's what he was saying to the police. They were still fucking around with him. Right? So when he did what he did, he had enough. And so they rejected the case after I spent 2 nights in the cell. When they sent the 2 guys at me on the train, when I remember, I said, if I could use a knife on 2 women, what the hell? I take out my knife and I bleed them. I cut out the belly. I tell you, the police come. I run. The black guys on the train were saying, boy, the police come and run. Run. If it was me, I done gone. I said, no, I don't run from the police. I don't run from the police. I sat down there. The police came and treat me like a gentleman. Mister, were you involved in this? Yes. You have any injury? No. I said, I was the one that inflicted the injury. I was the one who stabbed them up. He said, where is the knife? I said, the knife is in my pocket. He said, keep it there. Do you need an ambulance? I said, yes, I need an ambulance. You understand? If I didn't take an ambulance, they would arrest me. And they'd put me in the cell for 2 days, even though they didn't carry me to court. They'd keep me in the cell. You understand? So I said, yes, I need the ambulance. I go to the hospital, spend a couple of minutes, and I walk out the hospital. I go by my business. No case. You understand? Because I was in my right again. All of the footage were on the metro train cameras, and they would have seen what happened. Because I'm not a foolish man. I'm not going to be a police. I am not going to be a police for almost 15 years and allow some little stupid people to come and get the hand of me. Man, if I kill anyone, I will be arrested, I will be charged, but I will never lose the case because I will do everything I have to do to ensure that when I lay you out there on the ground, you deserve it. And trust me, I have no problem laying them out on the ground. They know that. They know that I have no problem laying them out on the ground. The guys them who are stabbed, they pass me almost every day. And they watch me with bad eye, but they're afraid to come and approach. They're afraid to come and approach. Because first thing, I could beat them hand to hand. But I ain't fighting with them hand to hand again. No way. If I could inflict stab wound on a lady, anyone who comes getting the same treatment, I given the enough line to make sure when I go to court, even if you're dead, I'll be acquitted. My people, let me stop talk shit. When you go to your business today, my people, remember, we are Vincentians, we are hardworking, so give them the best that you have when you're working. Anyone you meet, be cordial to them, whether you like them or not, right? And represent the Most High, because we are the direct descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the children of the transatlantic slave. We are the chosen of the Most High. So let us walk about our business today. And let us behave with the dignity that the Most High requires of us. Most High, thank you for the opportunity to come into your people and to share. Thank you for the knowledge, understanding, and wisdom you have bestowed upon me. And I thank you for the opportunity for sharing this knowledge, this understanding, and the wisdom with your people. I'm out.